everybody. We're going to do a little impromptu prep here for next week's cooking class, which is going to be ceviche. It's going to be next Thursday at 4:30 live on Facebook. You'll be able to also watch it on our YouTube channel probably a day or so after that happens. We're going to do this for Cinco de Mayo, which is coming right up. So today we're going to make tortillas, homemade corn tortillas. And what we need to do that is we need some masa. This is an instant masa. You just add water. I also add a little salt to it to give it some flavor, but this is the brand that I usually use. Tortillas are great because you can go home and just whip up a couple of them. If you're hungry, you don't have to make a ton at a time. So anyway, we're going to take the masa. We've got a cup of masa. I've got 3/4 of a cup of water, and I've got about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You can add a little bit more or a little less or not add it at all. And we're just going to put that in there, stir it up a little bit. For the corn tortillas, you need a tortilla press, which looks like this. This is the 8-inch tortilla press. We also have a 6-inch tortilla press. Because this is really sticky, you're also going to need some plastic, heavy-duty plastic, or a piece of parchment because the dough will stick right to this. So this is basically a Ziploc bag. We cut the zip part off and slit up 2 sides so you have a nice foldy piece of thick plastic. And we're just going to line this here like this. So back to the masa. We've got our masa and salt. That's all that's in there. We're going to add our water in and give it a good stir. The masa absorbs the water really well, so you don't want to add too much water. If you find that it's kind of crumbly, you can add a little bit, but don't add more than a teaspoon at a time. If you find that it's too wet and sticky to work with, just add a little bit more of the masa in. It's not a really tricky recipe, as you can see. It's really easy to work with, and basically you want it to be sticky enough to hold together, but you can see it's not sticking to my fingers at all. So that's all mixed up. We're going to take a couple of tablespoons, and I'm just going to press it into a little disc and put it right in the center here so it's on the plastic, or you can use parchment, as I said, and then another piece of plastic over it. Fold the top down and just gently squeeze it. You don't want to press too hard. And then we're going to turn it 90 degrees, do it again. And what we want is a really nice even tortilla here. And your plastic or parchment should peel right off. I'm going to turn my pan up. I've had this heating for a little while, so it is super hot. You don't want to touch it, obviously. And your tortilla should peel right off. And I don't know if you can see how thick that is. It's probably like 6 or 7 pieces of paper thick. And we're just going to pop this in here. This is ungreased. You can grease it if you want to, but I think they come out better if they're ungreased. And it probably cooled off a little too much there, but we've got it up on high heat. And we're just going to let it basically brown on the bottom for about a minute or so. And do not use a nonstick pan for this because you want a really, really hot pan, and nonstick won't take the heat. So cast iron, like this one from Finex or Lodge, or a carbon steel pan is the best to use because you can pretty much do anything you want to those. So that's a little brown on there. It's the first one. Usually the pan's not quite hot enough, but you can see it's kind of dried out. And meanwhile, I'm going to make another one. We'll go through this again while that one's cooking. So I've got a ball of dough, lightly flattened. And we're going to press and turn and press and turn. And this one's going to be ready to go as soon as this guy is done. And we'll take this one out. It's not quite done. I don't think our heat was quite high enough there. But we'll take this one out, and I'm going to put the new one in and start it on. So peels right off. Plop it in there. And I can hear it sizzling a little bit. But you don't want grease in there because it won't brown as nicely. Meanwhile, I'll have a little taste of this because they're so yummy. Fresh tortillas are awesome. You can freeze them, or you can reheat them in the microwave. Just wrap 5 or 6 of them in a wet paper towel, not wet paper towel, a moist paper towel, and just about 30 to 45 seconds in the microwave. Or you can keep them warm as you're making them by wrapping them in a kitchen towel. Let's see how that one looks. It's a little browner there. You can see it's getting a little brown on the edge. Probably could have gone a little longer. So these are going to be part of our cooking class next Thursday, 4:30, live on Facebook. Hope to see you then.